Greetings, welcome, and thank you for clicking. I'm Christian of Standing Stones Healing Company, encouraging your journey with Reiki, card reading, and coaching for life's changes, challenges, and transitions. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Ask the Stones, offering spiritual guidance and encouragement for life's challenging questions. Welcome, and thank you for joining me for this episode of Ask the Stones. Our question comes from Jessica. What would you do, Christian? Someone got very angry with me for charging $25 for 2 group Reiki sessions and a group coaching call. She said it should be free. Someone else questioned me about what are the hidden fees because it's too cheap. She wouldn't join because she felt there was some catch that I wasn't disclosing. And someone else told me that I should be competitive with other Reiki practitioners, and not doing so is harmful to the industry. I know you can't please everyone, but am I charging too much? Am I charging too little? What do you think? Well, Jessica, thank you for this question. I think that you are brave to ask this question, so thank you very much. Anytime we talk about money is often a challenge, and especially any time that we talk about our prices for our products and services is a challenge. So I want to say thank you for bringing up this question. So I think, Jessica, you indeed are brave. You know, I have quite a few things to say, but the first thing that I do want to say is, just like you said, you can't please everyone. And so I do believe that there are going to be people who balk at a price, no matter what the price. So there are going to be people who think it's too much, no matter what the price is. And this is not just the case with Reiki, but I believe it's the case with any kind of product, anything that anyone might offer for sale. Anything that humans might sell and or buy. And we know that humans might sell or buy anything. So when it comes to the pricing and people saying it's too much or it's too little, that's not just with Reiki, that's with any kind of product or service. So it's true, you can't please everyone, not only with Reiki, but with anything. There are always going to be people who feel that you charge too much, and there are always going to be people who feel that you charge too little. So, for instance, if you look at the price of a gallon of milk, some people will look at that milk and say, ugh, that is too much. I cannot believe that they are charging that much for a gallon of milk. And then there are other people who would look at that same gallon of milk and say, wow, what an incredible price on this milk. They are practically giving it away for free. They may even say, what's the catch? Sounds familiar, Jessica, right? So this feeling, this idea that something is too high or too low, what's wrong with it, or, oh, wow, what a steal, is not confined to Reiki. But what it really speaks to is the person's who's judging it, their value system. When we talk about money, I think it's really important for us to talk about values and our value system, because indeed, money really is a reflection of our values and our value system. So in looking at that gallon of milk, the person who says this is too expensive does not value the milk in the same way that the person who says this is a great price for it does. So they have different value systems about that milk. And indeed, you could probably even say that the person who thinks it's a great value, that it's a great price, probably values the milk more than the person who says that that's a terrible price for milk. So I want to encourage you, Jessica, that no matter what you might sell, whether it's Reiki or card reading or coaching, there are going to be people who think it's too much and people who think it's too little. And that really speaks to their value system. It actually, I believe, says more about them than it does about you. Because like with the milk, remember the milk is still the milk. It's the same jug, same size, same amount, but two very different opinions about the milk. And so it actually says nothing about the milk itself because it's the same milk, right? Two very different opinions, same exact milk. So those opinions are actually not about the milk, but rather a reflection of those people's values. And so the people who are saying to you, this is too much to charge for Reiki, it should be free. And, well, what's the catch? This is too little, this is too cheap. Those opinions are actually a reflection of their values and really are not about you, Jessica. They're not about you. They're not about your services, not about the Reiki or coaching that you are offering. And so these opinions really are a reflection of their values. So I want to encourage you that as hard as it might be to believe, it's not about you. And I know you might be thinking, well, Christian, this is about my Reiki, my coaching. This is about my services. How is this not about me? Remember, same exact product, two completely different responses. Those responses have to do with how those people feel about your price for those services. You know, no matter what you would offer for those services, be it for free or $500 for 2 Reiki sessions and a coaching call, there are always going to be people who say that's too much or that's too little. And so you're right. You can't please everyone, including with your pricing. You know, when it comes to our value system with money, that person who thinks that $25 is too much has a different set of values from you. And so they may very well have no problem spending $25 on coffee or chocolate or cigarettes because those are the things that they value. So maybe they'll gladly pay $25 for coffee or chocolate or cigarettes. Think nothing of it and think, yes, I will shell out my $25 for some really good chocolate. So that means that that person values the chocolate, the coffee, even the cigarettes differently than they value the Reiki. And that, of course, Jessica, has nothing to do with you and even nothing to do with the services that you offer. So I want to encourage you as best as you can, Jessica, to work to release judgment of yourself in this, and even to work to release judgment of the people who are saying, this is too much, this is too little, are you crazy? Give me a break. I want to encourage you to release judgment of them too. Because when it comes to our value systems and the things that we will or will not spend money on, and the amounts that we will or will not spend money on, are shaped by so many different things. They are shaped by our upbringing, our experiences, the messages that we have received, the culture in which we were raised, and the culture in which we live, which could be different from the culture in which we were raised. And so all of these things, and more and more and more, go into informing and shaping our value system and our beliefs about money. That's a lot of shaping. And so what that means is that even that person who is saying it's too much or it's too little doesn't even really fully realize all of the ways that their own value system has been shaped. And a person who says $25 is too much, it should be free, really actually is not fully aware of why they feel that way and all of the experiences, all of the messaging that has gone into them coming to that conclusion. That's a lot. That's a lot of layers, Jessica. That's a lot of stuff that has nothing to do with you. Same thing with that person who thinks that $25 is too little. That person has had a different set of experiences, messages, cultural influences, upbringing, than the person who says the opposite. And so I want to encourage you to work to release judgment of them too, and their judgments of your price, product, and services. That's not easy, and it really is not about you, because there is so much that goes into shaping that opinion. So much that you, of course, do not and cannot have any idea about. You know, when it comes to your fees, Jessica, I want to encourage you to price them where you feel comfortable. Of course, recognizing that your own pricing is based upon your own complex, layered experiences, opinions, messaging, culture, all of that. So you, of course, have been just as shaped by all of those influences to come to the conclusion that you are charging $25 for 2 group Reiki sessions and a group coaching call per month. So I want to encourage you to set your prices where you feel comfortable. Set your prices where it feels right to you, while at the same time pausing and taking a moment, taking this opportunity to consider your value system with money, your opinions, the ways that your feelings have been shaped by your experiences. So the way that your feelings about money have been shaped and what that all means. So, Jessica, while this is a bit of a frustrating situation for you, I can definitely tell the frustration. One person says this and the other person says the opposite, and then this person says this. Yeah, wow. That sounds kind of frustrating, Jessica. I want to encourage you, though, that this is actually a wonderful thing. This is a wonderful thing because it is a great opportunity for you to pause and reflect. In this frustration, Jessica, you are being called to examine your value system with money, to examine your own pricing, to examine why you arrived at that pricing for that service, and to determine whether or not that truly does resonate with you. Now, I will say, if it does, great. And if it doesn't, great. Because you can always make changes. But this really is, for all of its frustration, a great opportunity, not just for you, Jessica, but for all of us, because we indeed are hearing your question. And so thank you for bringing this to all of us as an opportunity to pause and reflect on our feelings about money and our value system. Money, of course, is just energy. Money represents energy. Think about it this way. When you look at your bank statement, they're really just a bunch of numbers. You're looking at the numbers on your screen, maybe holding your paper statement in your hand. Those are just numbers. You are not actually holding that money in your hand. When you're looking at it on a screen, right there it is on the screen, not in your hand. Actually, there isn't even a little bank account at the bank with your name on it that has that amount of money sitting in it. So you could even say that the numbers aren't real in that sense. But it represents energy. It represents what you will, at some point, spend your money on. It represents your values, the things that you want to spend your money on, the things that you plan to spend your money on, the things that you will spend your money on. And so, in that way, the money that you have in your bank account reflects your values, reflects what you will want to be doing with that money in the future, and reflects energy that you, at some point in the future, maybe the near future, maybe the distant future, will be sending out into the world in some way, shape, or form. And so money truly is just energy. It passes through us. It passes from one pocket to the other and out into the world. And so with this energy of money, it really is a great way for us to think about our own feelings energetically about money and what those dollar signs in your accounts mean to you. What value they hold and what they represent to you? These are no small questions, but this truly is an excellent opportunity to do that deeper thinking. So that is great. You know, in your reflection, Jessica, you may want to change your fees. You may not. You may want to increase them. You may reflect and say, yeah, actually, this is too low to charge for a group coaching call and 2 group Reiki sessions. Yes, I'm going to raise my prices. Or you may reflect and say, yeah, I'm going to give this away for free. And that's okay too. I encourage you to do whatever feels right to you. Keep them there if that feels right. Increase them if that feels right. Get rid of that service entirely if that feels right too. Because just like you say, you can't please everyone. And there will always be people who don't like your prices. There will always be people who don't like what you do, which is the case with anything in life. So in this reflection, you may change things and you may not, and that is all okay. As far as this situation goes, Jessica, I might approach this with the woman who got very angry at you. I would thank her for her feedback. I would thank her for her interest, because indeed she truly was interested in your service on some level. And maybe she determined that her level of interest was not worth the price, and that's okay. But she was indeed interested on some level. And so I think that it is completely appropriate to thank her for her interest. Now, this is what I would do, Jessica. If it doesn't resonate with you, that's okay. But I would thank her for her interest. I would thank her for her feedback. I would thank her for the opportunity to reflect on your pricing. And I would also say to her, but you know, I do need to charge for my time and energy, and to make that clear. And then I would also let her know, Jessica, that I would be happy to welcome her in the future if she changes her mind. So I would be happy to welcome her into the group sessions, into the monthly program, if she changes her mind in the future. And I would leave that door open and let her know that, yes, she's always welcome. You know, maybe she doesn't like the pricing. Maybe she thinks you should be giving it away for free, but she's still welcome. At least, Jessica, that's how I would approach it. She would still be welcome to me. You may be thinking, heck no, get out, lady, and that's okay too, Jessica. But for me, I would leave that door open and allow her to come back if she does determine in the future that her value system changes, her money values change, and she changes her mind. Because truly, our relationship with money changes. And what we're willing to buy at one time changes. And we are more willing to buy it in the future, or less willing to buy something in the future that we have been buying. You know, that person who says today, wow, what a great price for milk. This is incredible. I'm going to buy up all this milk. It's such a good price. May at some point in the future identify as vegan and no longer want that milk, and no longer want it for free. So our value systems change, and therefore the ways in which we spend our money change too. So she might change her mind in the future. Who knows? I don't think that this is an unfair price, Jessica. I don't think that you're charging too much. But again, that says more about my value system than it does about the $25, than it does about your product or services. You know, one other thing I would do with this potential client, this woman who was adamant that it should be free, I would also probably apologize to her that my pricing wasn't clear. Because at some point along the line, she thought it was free and maybe felt a little embarrassed that she thought it was free and it turned out it was not. You know, Jessica, maybe her strong reaction was embarrassment that, oh gosh, I didn't realize that this was not free. And that, of course, displayed itself as anger, as embarrassment often does for all of us, any of us. But somewhere along the line, she may have thought it was free. And then when she learned it wasn't, she may have been upset about that. Now, Jessica, I don't know how you're communicating your prices. And so I'm not saying that's what was wrong. I'm not saying that's your fault. I'm not saying you messed up with that. But I would probably apologize to her that my pricing wasn't clear. And then I would make sure that I was always clearly communicating the price structure so that people are aware right up front and aren't caught off guard. Because there is so much that we are offered these days that is free or could be free, and we're just not sure. I don't know about you, Jessica, but I've been in this situation when I've seen something and I've been like, oh, that looks really interesting. I might like to attend, but I can't tell. Are they charging? And if they're charging, what is the price? Or is it free? There's nothing that says it's free. And so I just haven't been able to tell. And I will tell you that there are things that I have been interested in attending where I just didn't know if there was a charge or what the charge was. And so I didn't go because I was like, is this free? I can't tell. Is there a charge? If so, okay, but how much? I can't tell. So I think that it can be really helpful for us to be clear in our pricing. And I think to advertise that too. You know, now here we come to the topic of Reiki and the cost for Reiki. When we talk about the idea of competitiveness with Reiki and competitive pricing, I really believe that that is very subjective, because what is competitive for a price in New York City is not competitive in central Kansas. What is a competitive price for Reiki in New York City is not a competitive price for Reiki in central Kansas. Likewise, when we're talking about online services, yes, you have a global audience and you can be having a client from New York City and a client from central Kansas, where money is viewed and valued differently in those two geographic locations. So when we talk about competitive pricing, we really need to have a context. We need to really be considering the context of that pricing and where the price is being offered and how and to whom. So I think it's very difficult to say, oh, Reiki practitioners should always be charging at least $60 an hour. Or no Reiki practitioner should ever charge more than $200 an hour. Well, it really depends. Really depends. So I don't think that there is one set amount that we can or should be charging for our Reiki or for any product. Just like that gallon of milk is going to cost a different amount in Manhattan than it does in Topeka. So context when we talk about pricing, when we talk about the markets, is so very important. It is very much a major consideration when we talk about our prices, because probably it's not a good idea for the Reiki practitioner in Kansas to charge $200 an hour. I mean, you can charge what you want, and taking into consideration the market is always very important. I don't know, maybe Reiki. I've never been to central Kansas. Maybe Reiki is a real going thing there. But you get the idea here, Jessica. $25 is not $25 is not $25. It is a relative amount, viewed differently in different hands at different places. So always it's important for us to be considering that. Which means that when it comes to this idea of competitiveness, what does that mean? What does it mean to be competitive with a price? That changes. So that's important, I think, for us to consider. You know, one thing I really do want to say about competitive pricing and what we charge for our services, I really want to encourage all of us to not judge one another for what we charge, to release judgment for what anyone might charge for their services, to acknowledge that they are charging what they are charging because of a lot of factors. And it's not just a simple, you should be charging this kind of an answer. You know, Reiki does not judge our prices. So let's not judge one another's. Let's not judge each other's prices. You know, I would like to say, Jessica, as far as that idea about clearly communicating the price structure, I do think it is helpful for clients and potential clients to know what our prices are and to post them on our website, to make them clear and make people aware. I think that's only fair to consumers. I don't know about you, but when I go to have my car repaired, I am like, what is this going to cost me? Because the pricing structure is not clear. And I don't know about you, but that creates some anxiety for me. And that makes me feel nervous, and I don't like that feeling. And for me personally, now, again, this speaks to my value system. But for me personally, if I can help to alleviate some questions and concerns for people just by clearly posting my prices, then I will. I will happily do so. I have no problem posting my prices. And I feel that it's important for people to know what they are so that they can see, what are these prices? And what might I be paying for these services? I think that's only fair to a consumer. Now, of course, other people are going to disagree with me. Other people don't have their prices posted on their website, and other people will give good arguments for why they don't. And that's all okay. I have no judgment of people who don't post their prices. That's their choice, and that's okay. But for me, I feel that it's very helpful for a consumer, a client, to know what to expect. It's really just letting people know what to expect. Now, will this always be the case for me? Remember, values change. There may very well be a point when I don't have my prices clearly displayed. So I'm open to that possibility. And of course, I know there will indeed come a point where my prices change. Maybe they increase, maybe even they decrease. I'm open to all of that as well. As we grow and change and shift as humans, so too does our value system. So too does our opinion of beliefs about money. So let's be open to that. And certainly, let's be open to what one another charge as Reiki practitioners. And let's not judge one another. You know, Reiki is not looking at anyone's prices and saying, oh, you charge too much for this. You charge too much for me. Are you kidding me? Give me a break. And Reiki is not saying, that's all you charge for me? Or you're giving it away for free? Are you serious? I'm Reiki here. Reiki doesn't do that. Reiki is not judging our prices. And so let's not judge one another for our prices. Let's not judge ourselves either. Indeed, it is all subject to change. And that is a great thing. So, Jessica, thank you so much for this question. This is a big question. And this is my answer. And this is my answer right now. Who knows? Maybe 10 years from now, I'll listen to this and say, wow, I've really changed my mind. And that's okay too. That is all okay. And I want to encourage you to know that where you are right now, Jessica, with how much you charge, your services, is all okay. It is all okay. So thank you so much for this very important question, this very challenging question, and yet also this very needed question, Jessica. So thanks so much. You are brave for bringing this forward, and you are appreciated. Thank you. You know, Jessica, I'm going to send Reiki to you for your experience, for your prices, for your services, for your interaction with people, with your prices. You know, no matter what your prices are, don't be afraid of them. So whatever your price is, $25, say it loud and proud, and don't be afraid. Say it with conviction. Someone wants to know what you charge, $25. Rather than, $25? Will you pay $25? Nope, this is a fee that you have decided on. This is an amount that you have decided on. Say it. Let it be known. Don't be afraid to say it with conviction. $25. And feel confident in talking about the cost of your services. And if you don't feel confident about it, Jessica, then explore that. Explore that and explore why. You know, resistance has meaning. And so anytime we feel resistance, whether it's to the amount we charge or talking to people about it, or whatever it might be. Resistance has meaning. Always explore the resistance. So please join me in taking 3 deep cleansing breaths. Now, everyone, I am going to send Reiki to all of us for our prices if we are Reiki practitioners with a business where we sell Reiki. I'm also going to send Reiki to all of us who sell any kind of product. I'm also going to send Reiki to all of us who purchase any kind of product, and to our money value system and the exploration of that value system. So that's a lot of stuff. Of course, as always, if you don't want to receive the Reiki, don't worry, it will not go to you. Thank you, Jessica, for that honor. So, I very clearly saw a few images that really speak to luck. So, immediately I saw a horseshoe. Then I saw a rabbit's foot, and finally a 4-leaf clover. The encouragement here is, Jessica, good luck. No, the encouragement here is to really think about this experience, and more importantly, money, in terms of good fortune, in terms of good luck, in terms of blessings. Because indeed, that energy of money, those numbers in your bank account, represent energy, or even the money stuffed under your mattress. That represents energy, things that you are going to spend the money on in the future. And so I encourage you to think about that in terms of good fortune, blessings, and luck. Beautiful. Thank you for that. Jessica, I'm going to pull a couple cards for you, and let's see what we have. I have grabbed the angel deck, so let's see what the angels have to say. And you know, I do want to emphasize that money is a challenging subject. It's not easy to talk about. And when we do talk about our own money exploration for our own values, it's important for us to recognize that this is so multi-layered, that always we have work to do around money. Always we have layers to uncover and consider. Always we have reflecting to do. And so it's not like we can, quote, solve our money problems once and for all. It's an ongoing process. And even if you have experiences where you've reflected, you've gone through your reflections, and yes, you have released all money issues, well, you're still going to have money. You're still going to spend it, still going to get it. So you're still going to have experiences with money, which means that, yes, you're still going to have reflecting to do about it. So, Jessica, the card that has popped out for you is Azure. Your desired outcome will occur in the very near future. Have patience and faith, and don't try to force it to happen. Wow, great. So, you know, Jessica, when it comes to money as an energy, the more we try to force it, the more stuck it can be. The more we try to push it in a direction, the more it may flow into other places. So what I'm saying here is, Jessica, energetically, to work to let go of the resistance and let things flow. Don't try to force it. Now, of course, there may be resistance to that too, which is completely normal and understandable, and a place where it may be helpful for you to reflect upon. I'm also going to pull for you an Archangel card, and let's see what the Archangels have to say about this situation. Wow, there it is. No shuffling whatsoever. Popping right out. The card is Overcoming Difficulties. Archangel Jeremiah says, the worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges. Oh, how about that? Very similar. That's great. You know, yes, overcoming difficulties, letting it go, letting it flow, and really releasing judgment, I think, is so important here, Jessica. So important. So, which is not easy. Let me again emphasize, not easy to release judgment. And I do believe we are all always called to work more and more towards releasing judgment, and even to release judgment of ourselves for the challenges that we experience in releasing judgment. So let us release judgment of the person who says $25 is too much. Release judgment of the person who says it's too little. Release judgment of the person who says we should be competitive. Release judgment of ourselves for where we are. And of course, Reiki can help us with all of this. And so, Jessica, I encourage you to be sending Reiki to all of this as well. Well, thank you all for listening. It is such an honor to have you join for this episode of Ask the Stones. As always, I send you blessings and best wishes. And I do want to remind you, of course, as always, I do have my free Life Change Encouragement Kit available to you. The Life Change Encouragement Kit with my Standing Like the Stones book. It is an ebook and an audiobook. The Life Change Meditation to help you release what no longer serves you, including maybe beliefs about money, and Affirmations with Native American Style Flute to empower you. Now, some might say, Christian, you're giving that away for free? And some might say, no thanks, even though it is free. No judgment to any of that, but it is there and available to all of you at standingstoneshealing.com/kit. The link is in the notes. Thank you all, blessings, and best wishes for your journey. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ask the Stones. If you have a question for Ask the Stones, please send me an email at christian@standingstoneshealing.com or connect with me on Facebook at Standing Stones Healing. Thank you, and best wishes for your journey.